Hi, I'm Dara. I just finished making these chair cushions for these old chairs that we keep down here in our all-purpose basement room, and I use them a lot to sit and do my crafting. So keep watching and I'll show you what I did. Okay, here's the two chairs. I have enough of this fabric on the left to do one more chair, but I'm gonna leave it for now because I want to see how functional and comfortable these cushions are before I go forward and do. I have two more chairs like this that we use down here in the basement, and I want to see how we do what they look like from the back. We have these mattress toppers left over from when my kids went to university. The mattresses in the dorm rooms there are super thin, so we bought them these to go over top. Luckily, with the 4 kids, we only had to buy 2 because of the timing, and then they were passed down. I've managed to fob one off on one of my daughters to use in her apartment, and I'm left with this one, and they're so greasy feeling, and just the nature of the foam is kind of gross. We don't have any more twin beds left in the house. So my plan is to cut this up, and we've got these clunky old IKEA chairs down here in our basement where we do crafts and my husband exercises, and so I want to make some cushions for the seats, and I'm going to use this old mattress pad from what was it? One of those inflatable air mattresses. It's disgusting. It's really, well, it's clean, but it's super polyester. And these are the leftovers I have from my crazy quilt. And I'm gonna see what I can get out of these 2 pieces. So here we go. They're so scary. I need it long. Okay, I think it should be a tiny bit smaller this way. Okay, so this is just about big enough to make an envelope style cover. So I'm going to sew it right sides together and then zigzag these edges. I'm sure I better get some pins, and I should probably try and box the corners too, eh? Anyway, that's the general idea. So let's see if it works. So I put these marks on here so I know where to fold it to. And I'm going to zigzag around here before I do my side seams. And just because this was the way it was when it was a mattress cover, I'm going to near those two a little bit. So it's gonna... I don't even think that that's necessary, but it's bugging me. Okay, off to the machine to zigzag. Okay, so I'm done my zigzagging on both open ends. And here are my red marks. So right now I'm gonna sew to here and to here on the machine on both sides, and then turn it right sides out. Okay, so here's the sewing. And I stopped sewing there and did a back stitch, and then picked it up here and did a back stitch again. Now, because this is like a square, a cube, I should probably do something fancy with those corners. But before I start trying to do that, I'm just gonna see if this works. And if it's good enough, then I'm not gonna bother. So, the moment of truth. So that's my envelope. Facing up, but I guess I have to do the corners. Okay, so it's probably got a relationship between the height of this thing, which is 3 inches. Okay, so I'm gonna box these corners at 1.5 inches because my foam is 3 inches high. And I'm gonna go 1.5 inches from the seam. Sewing machine. Okay, let's see if this worked. That's what I did to the corners. And I have no idea, I've never done it like this before, so let's see if it's gonna work. Now look at that. I am totally fine with how that is. Okay, so I have a cover. Let me put it on the chair still and make sure it works. That's what it looks like on the chair. Excellent. Oh, I'm so surprised. Okay. This is one of the fabrics I have. And I don't know if it's going to be enough. Because it's just, well, you know what? There's one way to find out. So we're okay this way. And I have my selvage there, which I'm totally fine with. Woohoo! Okay. It's such a pretty fabric. So I've done a little zigzag hem here on this raw edge. Okay, so this stuff frays like crazy. I'm gonna have to zigzag these edges. But I wanted to make sure my cover works before I do it. Okay. So I would like to be able to hold that closed. Okay, so I have this woven, what's it called? I don't know. It's woven and it's finished. It was from a set of sheets. So I'm gonna use it. It's got great print on it. I'm okay. I always save this kind of stuff from packaging. So I'm just gonna eyeball it here at the halfway mark. I'm gonna have to use my anti-fray stuff on there, but I'm gonna do that at the end. And I'm gonna reopen my things and enclose it in the corner box seam. And I also found some Velcro. So I'm gonna use this to close up my envelope cover. So here I go. While I'm at it, this overlap is bugging me. Tucking it in is bugging me. So here I go. I'm gonna cut it off and re-zigzag. Hope I don't regret it later, but oh, this is my prototype, so I'm okay if I make a few mistakes. I'm cutting it off on the cushion because I don't want to, you know, I don't like math. So I think that'll lay a bit flatter. So I just have to re-zigzag that. Okay, so I opened up these corners at the back to sew my ribbon in. I've zigzagged my seams, so hopefully that holds for a while. And I'm going to try a piece of Velcro in the middle to hold this closed. So there's my soft side, and I've marked, so not exactly straight, but that's okay, where this side needs to go. And I was having trouble getting the pins through, so I'm going to try this stuff on the back to hold it in place temporarily. And see if that's going to stick it down long enough for me to sew it. That's not bad. I'm a little bit off though. So let me try again, and I've lost the sticky. So let's go again. Those are my two corners, and I wanted that's my height. Okay, that's gonna hold it long enough for me to sew it down. So here I go. My Velcro. And I'm going to tie it to the chair. Okay, so because my chair has a bit of a slant, my mostly square cushion wasn't the greatest fit. So for this second one, I'm going to make an attempt to taper it. I'm going to eyeball it. So I'm going to bring it to where this part is here on the chair. Work. Yeah. Okay, so here's my revised cushion insert, and here's what's left of my mattress pad. And I'm going to attempt to make an envelope cover from the mattress pad in this wedge shape. I've never done it like that before, so let's see. Okay, so what I've done is I've clipped my edges together, and I'm using a washable marker to draw myself a guided sewing line, and also draw myself these marker spots where the corners of the foam is, so that when I take the foam out, I'll reclip it and I have a sewing line to follow. So that's my next step, is to do the sewing. Okay, so here is the moment of truth. I've got my corner seams done. I've trimmed my excess seam allowance, and I'm going to turn this right side out and try getting the cushion in. My corners are a bit off, but I'm okay with that. It's just the cover for inside the cover. So let me just adjust this. can live with that. So I'm going to keep going with the outer cover using essentially the same method, which is guesstimating and keeping my fingers crossed. Okay, so here's my fabric that I'm using to cover this cushion. It is also left over from my crazy quilt, and I tried to be a bit more accurate this time because really guesstimating is a bit silly for a person my age. So I did have to piece my fabric, and I want that piecing to be on the bottom of the cushion. And so what I've done is I've wrapped it around like a present, and then I have measured the approximate halfway mark with my ruler and drawn that with little hash marks on the fabric so I can see my seam line. And then I have traced the corners of the cushion with marker on both sides, this side and that side. The other thing I want to do to be accurate is mark where this edge meets, where the fold over is going to be. I've got quite a long fold over, but that's okay. And that's the selvage, so I love me a selvage, so I don't have to finish that edge. And I will finish this edge. So I gotta go do that before I pin it back together. Okay, this fabric is fraying like nobody's business, so I turned the edge and zigzagged the turned edge. Okay, and the line is there. Three and a half, 2. All right, so I'm gonna go with the smaller one, the 1.5. My marker. That'll be my cutting line there. Okay. Okay, here we go. I've done my seams. I did end up zigzagging all of the seams because of how much this fabric frays. So I'm going to turn it right side out, try putting my cushion in and see how it goes. Oh, I forgot to put my straps in there. Oh, I gotta think of what to do for straps. And it's already zigzagged. What a drag. All right, so I'm not gonna open those seams up. All right, so that's the way that cushion looks. I need to go and find some thing to put right here to tie it to the seat. And the last one I made, I put Velcro here. I don't know if I'm gonna need it because I think my envelope is deep enough. So I'm gonna use it for a while without the Velcro and see how it goes. Because I think the thing I don't like about Velcro is that it can catch on all these fraying bits. And man, there's lots of them. Okay. All right, on to look for something to tie this on.
Hey, it's Editing Dara. I just wanted to let everyone know that this configuration with the just plain rectangle cushion is much more comfortable than this, because what happens with this one is when I sit down on it, it pushes the back cushion through the hole in the chair and leaves this spot under my legs that feels weird. So I'm so glad I stopped at 2. I'm going to make my next 2 this, just the plain rectangle, and it was the easier one. So
I hope my video has inspired you to try making some easy cushion covers if you have some old, clunky, uncomfortable chairs around like I do. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.